afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I am Julie Wright, the manager of the Media Relations Division, and I am proud to welcome all of you to the Prince George's County Police Department's 43rd Annual Medal of Valor Awards presentation. As you can see, this special ceremony is quite different than what you're used to seeing in years past. However, we did not want to let 2020 go by without honoring your colleagues and their acts of valor. At this time, Interim Chief Velez would like to say a few words.
Please forgive the mic. I'm going to stand back here and take my mask off. I am honored to have all of you here today so that we can celebrate the heroic and brave actions of our officers, your loved ones. I do want to apologize. Given COVID-19 and the restrictions that are placed on us, we can't celebrate you the way we normally do. So over 43 years, Prince George's County has recognized the men and women of public safety for their heroic actions. And unfortunately, this is where we find ourselves. But I want you to know that the medals that you're about to receive are just as prestigious as they have always been. Wear them with pride, wear the ribbons with pride, and know that you all have done what most police officers won't do in their entire career. I've been in law enforcement over 36 years, and I don't have a Valor Award. So keep that in mind. When people retire from the police department, we hand them a badge and we tell them, not everybody has one of these. You have officers that come in and they'll serve on the department, they'll leave, and they may not get a retirement badge. You guys are a smaller subset of that, so you have a lot to be proud of. So this ceremony here is our way, my way, of saying to each of you, how much I respect you, how proud I am of you, and how fortunate we are to have you on this agency. And to the family, this is, I think we're going on the 10th month now of wearing masks and dealing with this COVID stuff. It's not easy. And we always talk about the officers that put on their uniforms every day and they come out and they deal with the world's problems and they still have to go home and they're human and they have to live their lives and deal with mowing the lawn and things like that. But that's not possible. None of it is possible without you. So I want to thank you all for your support. Because it means a lot to these officers. So with that said, I'll turn it back over to Julie. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Interim Chief Velez. It is my honor to introduce the following officers: Police Officer Joshua Wortman, Joseph Mihanda, and Joseph Killian. Corporal Kenneth Tant is not able to join us today. However, he was an integral part of this team, and he will receive his Medal of Valor at a later date. In the early morning hours of Tuesday, April 23, 2019, units from the District 1 Police Department and Bladensburg Volunteer Fire Department and Rescue Squad were dispatched to an apartment building fire in the 3900 block of Warner Avenue in Landover Hills. Police Officer Joshua Wortman and Corporal Kenneth Tant were the first to arrive on the scene, and immediately, there we go, how about that? And immediately saw flames and smoke engulfing the first 3 floors of the garden-style apartment building. Without hesitation, they went into action, and without a second thought for their own safety. Citizens yelled that there were people trapped inside of the apartment building where flames were intensifying and spreading. Officers Joseph Mihanda and Joseph Killian joined Wortman and made the split decision to rush inside the burning building without any fire protective equipment in order to alert residents of their dire situation and lead them to safety. Corporal Tant responded to the rear of the apartment building and began assisting multiple residents who were in fear for their lives and trying to flee to safety. Tant used a couch to catch people who were jumping from balconies as the building burned. These courageous officers managed to get everyone to safety, and it has been reported that no one perished in the fire. The quick response of all officers on scene saved countless lives as the building burned and is no longer inhabitable. The actions of these officers exposed them to immediate danger, Yet they made the decision to risk their lives to rescue the citizens of Prince George's County. For their bravery, as they were pitted against a fire that was far outside their police training, Corporal Kenneth Tant, Police Officer Joshua Wortman, Police Officer Joseph Mihanda, and Police Officer Joseph Killian are being presented today with Bronze Medals of Valor. Police Officer Joshua Wortman. Officer Joseph Mihanda. And Officer Joseph Killian. November 5th, 2018, around 1 p.m., Washington Area Vehicle Enforcement Unit detectives observed a white Mercedes-Benz driving in Morningside with a fraudulent temporary registration plate attached to the rear. The Mercedes-Benz matched the description of a vehicle taken earlier in the day while the owner was pumping gas. The Mercedes entered an apartment complex and the driver exited the car before an investigatory stop could be made. Police Officer First Class Brandon Westfall and Police Officer Brendan Stokes and other detectives staged themselves throughout the apartment complex parking lot in order to surveil the Mercedes and identify the driver when he returned to the car. The VIN plate of the unoccupied Mercedes was inspected and found to be fraudulent. Around 2:30 p.m., the detectives saw a male suspect getting into the vehicle. They then observed that he had a handgun. As the detectives moved in to arrest him, the suspect shot through the windshield of the car. Officers Stokes and Westfall saw him raise the weapon, pointed at their fellow detective, and opened fire. In fear for their fellow officer's life, Stokes and Westfall discharged their department-used firearms, striking the suspect. The detective's vehicle was struck by the suspect's gunfire. However, due to the decisive actions of Officers Westfall and Stokes, he was able to take cover and remained unharmed. The suspect fled, then collapsed a few feet away on a ground floor balcony of an apartment. After verbal commands were made for him to show his hands, detectives safely approached and handcuffed the suspect. When they realized the suspect had sustained multiple gunshot wounds, Officers Stokes and Westfall immediately provided medical aid and until unit members of the fire and EMS department arrived. The suspect was identified, and it was determined that he had recently been released on parole after pleading guilty to carjacking in Prince George's County in 2015. The gun he used was reported stolen to the Prince George's County Police on July 22nd of 2018. The courageous actions of these officers brought a swift conclusion to a deadly threat, which could have resulted in the serious injury or death of a fellow officer. Therefore, Interim Chief Hector Velez is honored to present Police Officer First Class Brandon Westfall and Police Officer Brendan Stokes with the Silver Medal of Valor. Police Officer First Class Brandon Westfall. And Police Officer Brendan Stokes.